All right, everybody. Hopefully you can hear me and I sound okay. Just trying to get this started here. So let's see what we can do. Start shuffling our cards. And let's go down here. Shuffling these cards here. I know I'm a little late, so you'll have to forgive me on that front. And I know you will. So let's just move into doing this here. There we go. All right, hopefully the image looks okay, and hopefully you guys can hear me. Trying to change things up, trying to get a nicer camera, and something a little easier. And I should be able to read your comments better too, so let's hope that's the case. Hope everyone had a good weekend. I know I did. It was a very good weekend. I did my class, and it went well. It went really well. And it sounds like I'll be teaching another one here in a little while. But we're going to be doing this reading for October 27th of 2020. So basically tomorrow, but we're doing it today. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. So what do we need to know for October 27th? We'll start with the spiritual part first, and then we'll go financial, and then we'll do relationship, and then we will do singles in the reading. So let's get started here. There we go. Let's do one more shuffle here. Okay. So this is for the spiritual. Let's see what we get here. All right, and I'll show you the cards here. We have the Daughter of Wands in reverse. Okay. Then we get the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. Then we get the Five of Swords. Okay, upright. So to me, it feels like we're going through there could be some mental struggles, some mental turmoils here. This could be, like I said, this is the spiritual part of the reading, but there could be something interfering with that part, and that could actually be the lack of financial independence, right? That could be feeling like maybe we can't pursue what exactly we want to do because we feel like there's something bogging us down. And then I get the Daughter of Swords in reverse. So this could be a very young or very immature air sign. So you're looking at Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra individuals. So I see that as a possibility here. So you could be dealing with someone who's immature that way, or you could be dealing with someone who's very maybe aloof or avoidant, like very, very avoidant, or someone who, again, is very young in that field. But maybe there's something going on with the child, or maybe there's something going on at the home environment where someone is needing a little bit more attention, right? So that's what I'm seeing here so far. But let's look at the energy cards and see what we have here. And again, I know it's supposed to be spiritual, but I feel like there's something here with the spiritual. But these cards will show us a little more of the spiritual side. So, okay. All right. There we go. Okay. So we have the Door to Spirit. Okay. Colors look a little washed out. I'm going to have to fix that. We have the Door to Spirit. Then we have the Angel of Balance in reverse. And then we have Door to Personal Healing and Happiness. So this thing that's going on right now with our spirituality, with our maybe someone else taking up our time, or someone we're trying to help, maybe they don't appreciate it, and it feels like we're kind of in a rut that way. But when I see Door to Spirit, okay, Angel of Balance in reverse, we need to work on balancing our expectations, our hopes, we need to work on balancing that part of ourself, or else there's not going to be any growth in that way. And then when I see Door to Personal Healing and Happiness, this right here is saying that whatever we're going through now is a lesson, and we will get through it, and things will even out again spiritually. But for now, we need to focus on what it is that whatever's in front of us. We need to focus on that And then we can get back to the more spiritual side of life. Sometimes things interfere and things feel like they sort of delay that sense of progression, but that's what I'm seeing right here. So let's move on into the financial side of the reading, and then we'll do the relationships, and then we'll do singles love reading, okay? So let me shuffle these cards, and we'll start the next part of this. Here we go. Okay. Okay, let's shuffle these cards over here. Let's see what we can get. Okay, financial side. There's always something going on in our life, whether it's spiritual, financial, emotional, mental, digital, maybe a phone dies and it will not turn back on. You never know. Mercury in retrograde can really mess up the technology side of things. Our fridge broke, so that Mercury in retrograde is a little bit of a little devil comes in here and sees what's going on and just breaks stuff. Okay. So we have got, okay, for the financial part. Okay, we have the Hanged Man. Then we have the Seven of Wands. Okay. Then we have the Nine of Cups. So this to me says that we are searching for happiness in the job department. Kind of like we've talked about before. The Seven of Wands is about searching. The Nine of Cups is about emotional fulfillment. And the Hanged Man is about seeing things from a different perspective. So we're searching for emotional fulfillment in a job where we could see things in a different perspective. This could be all sorts of secrets under the hat. You have no idea. My forehead just keeps going and it keeps going back. Nice to see you guys. I haven't seen you here before. But yeah, we're searching for emotional and financial fulfillment right here. So to me, I feel like this is a really good job opportunity to have that could come in. I'm going to look at the energy reading here in just a second, but that's definitely what I'm seeing right here. Let's look at what the energy is, though. Let's shuffle these ones really quick. Okay, so we get man holding a coin right there, and we get first chakra Archangel Michael right here. Hi, SC. And to me, these two cards right here, we're definitely looking at starting something over. We're looking at starting again the job department. The man holding a coin, I feel like this is us going out and actually searching for employment versus us thinking about it. I feel like we're actually doing something. There he is again, this little cutie right here. So yeah, it's us going out and we're actually getting something done instead of wishing for it. And I feel like that's something that's really, really important is that we actually go out and we get what we want to get instead of waiting for things to just happen for us. That's kind of the law of attraction. If we go out and we get it, instead of waiting for things to come to us, things actually work a lot better. Okay, let's see what else we have here. I'm going to draw one more card for the financial. And I get this one's Happy Family in reverse. So this one is feeling like there could be some pressure, maybe from family members, for us to try and do better. Hey, I wish my hair was the same. Wouldn't be wearing the hat if the hair was good. No, my hair is good. But anyway, this one here, though, we could be feeling pressure from family. We could be feeling something happening where just kind of the flow of us maybe not working or us trying to work for ourselves. There could be something interrupting that. And you'll see there's a cat red here. She's looking for a food bowl. But that's what I'm getting for the financial part. So let's move on to the relationship side of the love readings, and then we'll go into singles. Yep, she's appearing. She's getting ready to eat. Let me shuffle these really quick. Hopefully you guys like the view of the cat's butt, because that's kind of what's going on right there. No crab meat. That's it's an interesting question. No crab meat, nothing like that. Unless there's crab meat in your food, in which case that seems like a weird thing to just put in cat food. Okay, let's do this here. The day that happens, that will be an interesting day. If she takes over my body and I'm in hers, it'll be I can't remember what the movie was. It would be interesting, though. Not too worried about a feline prison. All right, shuffle these ones again. So we're looking at relationships here. And like I said, we'll go into the singles. I've seen the Being John Malkovich film. Is it Malkovich or Malkovic? I've seen that movie before. It's been a long time, though. Can't really remember it. All right, relationships. Those that are already in relationships. Let's see what we get. Okay, so we get Father of Pentacles in reverse. We get Father of Swords in reverse. And then we get the Four of Swords upright. So definitely, if we're in a relationship situation, for some of us, again, this doesn't go with everybody, but for some of us, we could be looking at dealing with someone who's closed off in possibly a physical way, or maybe someone is in bad health. I could see that too. But it's like someone who's closed off, maybe they're refusing to get treatment or they're refusing to get help in a physical way. But you could also be dealing with someone who refuses to learn new things mentally. So this person could be someone who's just very, very stuck in their ways. So this could be an older individual, but it feels like the person would be very stuck and not willing to move in any direction. Kind of, I don't even see that they would be slow to change. I see that the only thing that's going on is it's more of a resting energy, which when these two cards are in reverse, to me, that's a refusal to learn new things. That's a refusal to learn new information. The thing I'm seeing is it's like someone who just comes home, they sit down, they watch TV. They don't read, they don't learn anything new. They don't try to better themselves in any way. It's just sort of, they just want to tune out completely, right? Or maybe there could be other vices that are here too, but I'm seeing it being something where either you or this person or both, you're feeling like you're in a rut in this way. I haven't drawn any energy cards though, so let's see what could we do to work through this kind of rut. What's something we could do? We shuffle these 2 times, and then we can get the answer for that. Let's see, one more shuffle. So these two cards right here, this could be, because I get Door to Spirit in reverse, okay? And then I get Journey in reverse. So this is, again, someone who's refusing to change, someone who's refusing to go through the door, someone who's refusing the journey, right? So I'm seeing this as someone who is just sort of, not even sort of, this person's very, very set in their ways. And you could be looking at an air sign, or you could be looking at an earth sign. So Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn, or Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius individual, or someone who has those traits, someone who's very, very stubborn, does not want to change, or someone who is very, very evasive, again, does not want to change. So that to me is someone who would be very, very stubborn, hard to work with this kind of energy. And the reason why I feel like I get Journey in reverse is because this is going to be something you're probably going to have to do yourself, right? So it's not something you're going to necessarily have a choice in. I feel like moving into maybe more spiritual way of being, or moving into doing something different, you're going to be doing it yourself. And then that's something that I see there. So, and that one's a little bit of a difficult one to read other than that, but that's something that I'm seeing there. So I feel like the way that I see things is that you're just going to have to go it alone for a little while in this situation. So that would be something. Okay. That will be something that I feel will be a little bit difficult moving forward. I'll draw one more card, though, for that. So let me go here. Okay. All right, so let's move into the relationship part of things, or the single part of things. Let's do that. All right, single. All right, what do we need to know for singles moving forward? Shuffle these cards here. Okay. One more shuffle here. We'll go into singles, and then we can go into questions after that. Or I can just continue reading for the day. So that might be what we end up doing. Either way. Okay. Okay, let's draw some cards here. All right, so I get Storm Warning right here. Okay. Then I get Door to Spirit and Angel of Strength in reverse. So this to me is going after what we want in life and maybe feeling that there's a little bit of strain. I mean, not a little bit. If I look at Angel of Strength in reverse, it's definitely feeling like it's hard to keep going and it's hard to keep trying in the way of love, right? That's something that's very difficult. I see that we're looking at trying to change the way we see love, maybe looking at how to change the mentality of it. This is the Two of Swords card, which again denotes choices, mental choices. Do we go left or do we go right? Do we take this decision or do we take this decision? It's working on those mental kinds of things. And this could also be happening because we are reminiscing about the past, okay? And possibly we could be healing from something that we had in childhood. This is the Mother of Swords in reverse. This is the Six of Cups card. So the Mother of Swords in reverse is definitely that Aquarian energy where we're looking at moving into something where this person is, they could be very rough. Again, we had the Father of Swords with the relationship part. If we have the Mother of Swords here in reverse, it's a very similar kind of thing. Elusive, very cold, very kind of almost logical to the point of like abandoning all other faculties, right? Like just logic. I don't feel like there's much of an emotional attachment with this person. So that's something that I'm feeling for sure. That's something that I think would be what's going on here. I'll draw one more card here, but when I see the storm warning and the door to spirit, that's just kind of a difficult energy to handle because it feels like we're wanting to start something new, but we can't necessarily. So that's what I'm getting here. Does what really work? Amer? Amer? I'm not sure how to say your name. I'll just read the energy for the day now. Do this. Let's do one more shuffle here. This is going to be the overall energy for October 27th coming up. Good evening to you. A little bit of energy healing, psychic readings, tarot readings, some mediumship. That's what I do. And I'm glad you made it. Is it Mocha? Was that the name? I can't remember. Awful with names. Not that good with faces either. So generally, it's not that good. But I'm glad you can make it. Okay, good. Okay. Oof. Okay, so shuffle these one more time. Okay, so I got these two. Let's see what else we can get here, guys. Wow. Okay, so the energy for today is interesting. Or tomorrow, I mean. So first chakra, Archangel Michael. Okay. Then we get fifth chakra, Archangel Gabriel. All right, so definitely working on building a foundation, right? So tomorrow is going to be working on building the foundations of character for ourselves. So we could be tested in some way. And the way we will be tested more than anything is I feel like speaking our truth. I feel like saying what's on our mind, not trying to hide it anymore, actually talking about how we feel versus wishing we could talk about it. I feel like we're going to reach a point where we're just going to say whatever's on our mind and kind of establish boundaries, more firm boundaries in that way. So this could be job interview, could be talking to someone that's in a position of power, maybe over us. But I feel like there's a sense of finally establishing, I'm not okay with this. I don't want to do this. or maybe saying, yes, I would want to do that, and taking control of the situation versus letting someone else speak for you, or letting someone else sort of project onto you with their emotions or ideals, if that makes sense. So then I get the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. I get the World card in reverse. Okay. These two cards are interesting. To me, they almost look similar, right? So when we get the Wheel of Fortune and the World card in reverse, we're dealing with the energy has stopped flowing for us to change things. And I feel like the reason why for tomorrow is some of us are dealing with a love situation. The Lovers is upright, though. So someone could actually be helping us heal. Maybe the person's a Gemini individual. I feel like there's someone that's helping us heal in that way, possibly. So there could be someone coming in, talking to us. It could even be a stranger, but just something will happen tomorrow that I feel like is going to be more of an uplifting kind of an energy, right? More of a gentle kind of energy would be what I would say. So tomorrow, be on the lookout for that and establish your boundaries, talk about things with people, and focus more on letting your truth be heard, letting your voice be heard, right? So that's definitely what I'm getting here, you guys. So if there are any questions, I will take them now, and we can go from there. If not, we can keep talking here. I've got my mediumship class I'll be uploading a little bit later. I might want to do some edits to it. I'm not sure yet. It's a little rough, but it's the first class I've ever taught. So, and it went well. So yeah, that's good. Definitely was nervous for that. It was this Saturday or last Saturday, and everything went good. So yeah, hopefully I can teach more and get the word of mediumship out there a little bit more. Just talking about that. Okay. Hold on one second. He's positioning stuff here. Okay. So, with that being said, are there any questions, anything we're wondering about? Anything me or the cards could touch upon here? Sorry about the shakiness of the laptop and everything. Oh, that camera's having trouble focusing. Come on. Okay, hopefully that focuses back here in a second. There we go. Did you have a good weekend, Mocha? Ah, nice. Nice. Always good to have a nice, relaxing weekend, or just a good weekend in general. Recharge the batteries, so to speak. Mine was good. Mine was really good. Like I said, I taught my class. It was a mediumship class on Saturday. I recorded some of it. I'm going to upload that. I'm actually not sure when I'm going to upload it. It's kind of a bigger file, so I'm trying to think of how to do it. But I'll upload that, and then you guys can watch that. Are you into mediumship at all, Mocha? It was good, Denise. It was really good. everything went really well. I was very nervous at the start, and then things got a lot better as time was going on. And oh, awesome. Well, then hopefully the mediumship class helps you. Um, I go through everything except the practice, and that's going to be my next class. So it's kind of like building up the foundations of its fundamental mediumship, or the fundamentals of mediumship. Yeah, it went well. It went really well, Denise. And hopefully we'll be teaching again in maybe January. I'm not sure. I'm not sure yet, because it's like a workshop thing that they have planned. So hopefully I'll be teaching again. But it went well. Everyone was nice. I mean, if there's one place you want to start speaking, public speaking, I feel like a spiritual spot's a good place to do it, because there's people aren't usually harsh judges of character or anything like that. They were all pretty cool. So I enjoyed that. But yeah, it went well. It went really well. And I'll be teaching the practice, and I'll probably be teaching how to connect, how to know if it's a guide or a spirit, things like that in the future. That's going to be something that I'll go into. But so Mocha, are you able to connect yet? Have you been sitting in the power or building up anything like that? All right, let's do this here. I'm going to put these cards down here. Let's see how this goes. All right, I've got 3 piles here. And by 3 piles, I mean 2 cards, one of each. And I'm going to draw these cards here. Let's see. Yeah, that's something that's kind of difficult to get started, because you have a gift and then it's frowned upon, right? And then it's like kind of feeling like, why was I born with this? Why did I have this kind of a thing happen? And then we learn as we go on that it actually is indeed a gift, and that it should be cherished, right? So that's going to be an interesting thing moving forward, kind of dealing with those childhood blocks. I feel like things that happened at the same age that we found out we had it, it's going to be the things that block us the most. So it could be a sense of not believing, or it could be a sense of believing in it, but maybe feeling like it's too, like you said, feeling so much. It can be too much too. And that's something you can work on moving forward too, is where it's not quite as much. The medium, when they're first starting out, it's like you walk into a room and your nerve endings are exposed, would be the way I would describe it, because everything feels like it's too much. Absolutely everything, and especially large groups of people. We go from being empaths to being like, I hate people, because it can be way too much. It can be way too strong of an energy to deal with. So I don't know if that's going on with you, Mocha. Is that happening with you? You feeling a little sensitive in that way? Yeah, and that's something that's there too. It's something we can learn to control as we move forward. But so there's, and I talk about this in my class. I talked about the difference between development versus unfoldment, right? So a medium will go through development, and development is usually done through maybe teachers or books, or learning about the structure of mediumship, learning how to structure a contact, things like that. Yes, exactly, like an exposed nerve. Absolutely, Denise. And so the medium will go through these different structures, these different ways of learning. Now, just like with anything else, I do believe that there can be different mediums, different ways of learning, but it's good to have a structure, right? Just like with painting, we can learn the structure of how to paint and what material works the best, right? like how to paint, what material works the best for painting, things like that. But then after a while, we understand the materials, we understand how to use the tools, and then we can do whatever we want to do. So the development is taking the structure of teaching yourself or learning from other people and putting that into your own time. That's why it's called development, right? Unfoldment is an internal process, and that takes place on the psychological, the soul, the energetic level of the medium. So unfoldment is huge when it comes to learning things because we're taking the psychology, we're taking the emotional depths of our own understanding and that of the spirit world and that of everything, and we're trying to make that into something a little more positive. We're basically examining ourselves at that point, trying to get to another level of understanding. Does that make sense, Mocha? Perfect. Okay. All right. I also got this. So when it comes to the mediumship part, I get the moon card, okay, working with the subconscious. Hi, Tamara. So if you want, we can ask questions and do it that way. But if you want a full reading, I do ask for about a $10 donation. If that's not something you want to do, completely understand. But that's how I do readings here. So I hope that that works. I can do a little bit of a reading for you, but if you want to do something more in depth, it'll be about $10. So hopefully that's okay. Again, if not, no pressure. So I get the moon card here, and then I get the all tied up card, right? And so Mocha, to me, this one right here, especially with spiritual development, this is focusing on, I would say, the mediumship part of it, right? The moon is the subconscious, right? I can do a brief little bit for you, Tamara, but again, you'll have to pay for a deeper reading. So, yeah. From what I understand, we go into and just give me a second, Tamara, and I can do that brief little reading. But we go from the subconscious, right? Or we go from the conscious state. That's where we're at now. And then when we're working with our intuition, we're working with the subconscious, right? So we go down further into our own depths, right? When we're working with mediumistic energy, we're actually connecting to what I've heard called the superconscious mind. And when we're working with the superconscious mind, that's when we're connected with everything. That's when spirit's communicating with us. There's the Akashic records, there's psychic ability, there's mediumship, there's all of that. That's when we kind of reach that oneness state. So the superconscious mind, that's something that through the unfoldment process, we can get more and more comfortable with because we realize we are always connected to that energy. But until we realize that the only thing that's limiting us from our own energy is us, it gets a little bit difficult at first. And again, especially when we're developing these first kind of senses, when we're developing these first kind of abilities, we need to focus more on allowing ourselves to gently be exposed to it versus hurrying through it. A hurried person, a hurried medium, that doesn't make any sense. That's like if someone was performing heart surgery and the doctor was just, for no reason, they're like, I have to get this done in 45 minutes. I just have to. And people are like, why? Why do you have to do it that way? He's like, I just have to do it that way. No, it doesn't make sense. And a medium that is rushed will develop in the wrong way. And then we have to break through those. So the important thing is to be gentle and to let yourself take your time when you're learning mediumship or when you're learning anything, because not being gentle it hurries us along in a world where we're already pressed for time. Why do we need to keep doing it, right? So hopefully that helps. Okay. All right, Tamara, I do one card, one energy card, which are these ones, and then I do one tarot card. And then if you want something more, then like I said, about $10, okay? So let me move into this. So let me shuffle really quick. One more shuffle of these ones, then I'll shuffle the energy ones, then go from there. Good, Mocha. That's perfect. The patience is what helps. The patience is what makes it all worth it in the end. And work on just allowing yourself. The unfoldment process is the same as, there. It's the same as like when a rose or when a flower is starting to bloom. We don't usually rush the process. We let it unfold. That's kind of where it comes from. We're letting ourselves do the same thing. We're allowing ourselves to bloom, but that's how we do it. Okay, so let's move into this. Okay. All right, so Tamara, what I get here is I get the Daughter of Cups. Okay. We could be working with we could have someone in our lives that's a very young water sign. So I see Cancer, Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces individual, but then I get Blossoming Abundance in reverse. So this to me says that there could have been a budding relationship or something could have been there. But when I see Blossoming Abundance in reverse and my heart's starting to hurt, yeah, that's not a comfortable feeling. Okay. So give me just a second here. It could have been a relationship with a younger water sign. I could see that. Or it could have been wanting to start something with a younger water sign. Could be, I don't know if I would say business necessarily, but I do see that there was something that was wanting to be started with a possible younger water sign. So that's what I'm seeing here. And when I see Blossoming Abundance in reverse, I feel like something fell through. So that's what I'm seeing here tomorrow. Okay. You're welcome. Okay. Whew. Man. I don't know what was going on. I did not feel good with that reading. Maybe the person was closed off or something. I don't know, but that felt very, very very, very painful in the heart part would be the way I would describe that. Whew. And if you want to tomorrow, you can also check out my website and I can do readings on there for you too. So that's something you can check out if you want. We can go a little more in depth. My prices are pretty fair on there. So, okay. Any other questions? If not, we can keep doing some readings here, or we can keep talking about mediumship and the development process. And actually, the thing I feel like is important first when it comes to mediumship is this. And I'll show you guys here in just a second. So there's a few books on psychic development and mediumship development that I feel like are really, really good. So one of the first things we want to do as mediums is we want to be psychics first. So I can go and grab the book so you guys can see it. Okay, give me just a second. I found the book, but it's going to take me a minute to grab it. So, okay. Oh, that's a workout. All right, so this book right here is something that'll help you guys with developing. So when it comes to books, when it comes to knowledge, we can never learn too much. And as psychics and as mediums, we should always be learning and we should always be evolving. I say that all the time. I mean it. Sometimes we get stuck. I get that. Anyway, here you go. So, You Are Psychic by Deborah Lynn Katz. Okay? Really, really good book. It goes over everything. It goes over how to develop the psychic abilities, how to develop the clairs. It doesn't touch on mediumship as much, but one of the first things we need to learn first is psychic ability. Then we can build up from there. It's kind of like wanting to go out and build a skyscraper when we don't even know how to put carpet in a room. You know, when we don't even know the basics, how can we go up higher, right? So what I'm touching on here is that it's possible to develop. You can have mediumship first. You absolutely can. But once we've established that there is mediumship, then we can work on building up the psychic ability, and then we can work on building up the mediumship further. Does that make sense, guys? That we start with the psychic first, and then we go up from there? Because that's the whole point. Okay. All right, and the whole thing that we're looking for when it comes to psychic, or when it comes to mediumship, is evidential readings. When we do that, that's when we get the best information, and that's when we can have things moving forward. So the first thing we want to do is we want to work with the strongest gift first, and then build that up, and then we can work with the ones that are lesser developed. Does that make sense? Working with the strongest clairs or the strongest ability, and then working on the other ones that are lesser developed. Okay. All right. So that would mean you said seeing, right, Mocha? Okay. Yeah. So this is good. This is a good book to have. So you are psychic, the art of clairvoyant reading and hearing. Healing, not hearing. I mean, we could all, anyway. Jokes aside. Okay, so if we're developing clairvoyance first, we use that. We use that as our main sense moving forward. Now, generally, what I've noticed with people that have clairvoyance is there can be claircognizance as well, which is clear knowing. At least for me, that was the case, and other people seem to have the same thing. When there's communication with spirit, there can be a feeling of just knowing something, not necessarily without seeing anything, just sort of saying what's there. Is that with you as well, Mocha, or are you someone who's more strictly clairvoyant, like you just see things? There isn't a wrong answer. I'm just curious. Okay, there we go. All right, so generally with this kind of psychic phenomena, or clairvoyant or claircognizance is what it's called. So that's clear knowing. That's what that means. And from my understanding, that is a new clair that has been developed over the past 50 years. It wasn't something that was super common. Like I said, about 50, 60 years ago, it wasn't something that's super common. So even psychic ability, mediumship, all of this is evolving as humans are evolving as well. I think that's really interesting, really fascinating. Or rather, we are just coming to accept it more, and we're learning how to do it better. And that could be another sense of evolution as well. My personal theory is that the earth is putting forth these gifts so that people start developing a sense of self, and the earth is aware of a spiritual alignment that needs to happen. And so that's why people are being born with these abilities that are more forthright and, kind of in your face. In the past, it seemed like it was more subtle, and now it doesn't seem like it's subtle anymore. Okay, so that's my theory. That's just kind of something I feel. But so when we're working with that, that's the main thing we're trying to do, is provide evidence. We're trying to provide something for people that they can look at and be like, okay, that makes sense to me. And evidence is generally bringing through a personality, a memory, a name, or a place. So that's hugely important when it comes to evidential mediumship. Anything you can think of that's a describer of a person, that like really describes them, that's evidential. So think of like if you were talking to a friend about someone they'd never met before, and you were trying to describe the person, that's something that's evidential. If you can bring through something, they're like, oh, okay, that person sounds, like this or like that. So if we develop our clairvoyance first, the thing we would focus on is seeing things. And I know that sounds like, well, duh, but literally going outside, being more aware of our environment, looking up at things, reading things, learning new information. So clairvoyance happens. The reason why it happens the way it does is there's symbols, right? But it's our symbolic language. No two clairvoyants are going to have the same language. No two people that can see and have the sight are going to have the same language. So the way that we develop this language further is to keep learning and to keep growing. The reason why we have to do that is because as we learn and we grow, spirit uses what we already have in our heads as a basis to start off with. They use the images, they use these pictures as something to start with. So every medium is going to be different. Every psychic is going to be different. They will use what you're comfortable with. Does that make sense? That spirit communicates with symbols that we're already aware of. Okay. Okay, so yeah, we work on going out. We're observing more of the environment. Okay, awesome, Denise. Awesome. Today was a cardinal, right? Okay, yeah, there you go. There you go. You're noticing your environment. That's perfect. That's exactly what you want to do. When it comes to noticing the environment, that's going to be the one thing we can take moving forward. That's kind of the whole deal. Is that we're aware of our surroundings. Then we can give messages a lot better. And no matter how much we develop, certain spirits will just not come through to us. It doesn't matter. Certain spirits we just will not be able to read because they don't mesh with our personality or they don't want to speak through us. And that should be no fault on the medium. That's the spirit saying, I don't want to talk to this person. I would rather be comfortable with another medium. So once we do develop, take that into consideration, but sometimes it's just not the right spirit for the job. Does that make sense? That spirit will communicate through certain mediums versus other ones. Okay. Yeah, it just depends. It depends on the person. It depends on the medium. Or it depends on the spirit. It depends on the medium. That's the whole deal moving forward. Are there any questions on it? I feel like I've just been chattering for a while. So are there any questions? That can happen. Seeing things you weren't there for, like with some, like reading somebody else. Is that what you mean? Like doing a reading for someone else and you saw something? Hmm. That's something I've talked about, and I talked about it in my class a little bit too. It's like feeling a resonance or a frequency. The way I describe it is like a spider web that's being hit with rain, and the spider feels the raindrop hit the web, but you weren't there for it. You feel like the vibration, you feel like a ripple in the pond. You don't necessarily see the rock, but you feel the effect of the ripple. Does that make sense? And I'll address your question too, Denise. Okay. So male versus female energy, that comes with time and with practice. For instance, I've noticed that there can be blocks when it comes to male female. There can be something that's like blocking us from detecting it, right? So the way I go through male and female is first off, have something you can regularly practice with, like a group is good, but you need to feel the energy and you need to be told yes or no on what you're picking up on. That would be the first thing, because other than that, I can't necessarily describe how the energy would feel to you, Denise, if that makes sense. It's like for me, it's kind of a claircognizance, and I don't always get it right, but it's kind of a claircognizance and it's clear knowing, which means I can't necessarily explain how I do it. It just happens for me personally. Other people might feel warmth, they might feel coldness, they might feel different things in the body, or they might see something. yeah, I know that's not necessarily the answer you were looking for, but practicing with people is a good way to get that going there. So, like I said, this book, Your Psychic, really good book. Okay. And the mediumship is great. Develop it, keep developing it, but know that we can always improve on the fundamentals, right? Like we can keep going back and keep improving, keep making our house of mediumship stronger. If that makes sense. Any other questions? Hopefully I can give a little bit more insight on. If not, that's good too. I'm going to return this book here. Okay. All right. So, yeah, that's definitely what I'm seeing is, or definitely what I'm saying is that when it comes to development, again, be gentle, give yourself time, and realize that it unfolds over time. It generally doesn't happen overnight. There can be leaps and bounds in our gifts and our way of understanding things, like things just click, but there will also be little setbacks here and there that make it kind of difficult for us to use the abilities in the moment in time. So go into it like we're learning anything else. Some days will be good days, some days will be bad days, and some days will be great days. I mean, it's just how it is with life. So yeah, any questions here? If not, that is okay. I'll move forward. We'll do probably another 20 minutes here, just kind of sitting and chatting, and then that would be good. But it's interesting. But yeah, that's going to be what I'm seeing here. And if we focus more on having the soul development be part of it, the unfoldment process, and just again, sitting in the power is good. That's always. No other types of mediums. And yeah, I'll be sharing what I taught. It's pretty rough though, but I feel like you guys would appreciate it. So, but yeah, Denise, I'll be sharing that. And Mocha, the way we do that is we work on controlling what's around us now. So work on setting up boundaries with people, work on setting up boundaries with your energy. And if you're feeling a tug spiritually and you do not want to feel it, say, can you please back off? I don't want to feel this. Work on having your boundaries there. The universe isn't going to take away your gift because you said, I don't want to feel this right now. It's actually going to help you develop more and quicker because you won't be burning yourself out. So I want you to think of it like this. I've described it before. When you're a medium or an empath or whatever you'd want to call it, right? When you're like that, you are a sponge. What the sponge does is it doesn't matter if it's dirty water, it doesn't matter if it's clean water, that sponge is going to soak it up, okay? So the way we get better as mediums is let's put our sponge in a little Ziploc bag. Let's make a barrier around our sponge. The barrier is boundaries. The barrier is saying, I'm ready to do this, but no one else is going to control me. So when we learn how to set boundaries in our life, we learn how to set boundaries in our mediumship better. And spirit is not in control. It's us that's in control. And we can say, back off. Sometimes our guides and spirits will get too close to us. And at that point, we can say, please leave. I do not want to do this right now. I'll let you know when I'm ready to connect. Thank you. You know, you can be courteous about it. Don't be mean, but just say, I don't want to do this right now. So hopefully that helps answer that question. Because just like in life, boundaries are important. Spiritual boundaries are just as important. Spirit's learning how to work with you the same way you're learning how to work with them. And you have to be honest with them and with yourself. Do I like this? Am I uncomfortable? Is this something I want to do right now? If not, say, I don't want to do this. That's okay. It doesn't hurt anyone. The spirit world is all about love and compassion, and they're not going to abandon you because you said, back off. There you go. And there won't be any repercussions with it, so don't worry about that. How I envision it, when you're ready to work, invite them in. When you're ready to be you and to not feel others' emotions, say, okay, thank you so much for your time. And this is after you're closing up. You don't have to close down the chakras. You don't have to do all that. Instead, just say, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you connecting with me, and just say goodbye in that sense. And work with that. Work on closing and opening in terms of letting spirit come and communicate and letting them not communicate. Right? And you can view it this way too. I don't know why this analogy just popped into my head, but think of it like this. Your spiritual abilities are like a baby, right? So you're taking this baby and you're walking out in public. Would you let anyone come up off the street and start touching your baby and start like getting really close? No, you wouldn't. You would set boundaries. You would say, I don't want you to do that. So you need to do the same with this gift. You need to say who's allowed in, who's not, what energy feels good, what doesn't, and then work on that. Hopefully that makes sense. So that's what development's all about. Awesome. I'm glad that's working. I'm glad that's working for you. So, and it gets easier with time, because when I first heard you could make boundaries with spirit, I was like, oh, you can do that. And then I practiced doing it, and at first you're kind of shaky with it, but then after a while you're like, come on, guys, come on. I just need a little bit of space. Come on. It gets easier. It does. All of it gets easier. It just feels weird at first. And especially if we're someone in life that maybe isn't used to setting boundaries, that can feel very foreign, but they go hand in hand. We get used to setting boundaries in life. It gets easier with spirit, and vice versa. So they connect with each other that way. And I do, if you want to develop the gift, Mocha, we can focus on doing, I do private sessions where we can build up your mediumship or your psychic abilities and work on how to increase those. If that's something you're interested in, we could absolutely do that. Some people have the gift and they want to build it up. Other people have the gift and they want to do whatever they want to do. And some people really have no inclination to develop it or even know they have it. And either one of those is fine. Every single person, if you have a mediumistic or psychic ability that's starting to develop and you want to develop it, great. If you don't want to develop it, also great. There's not a penalty. Do you understand what I'm saying? There's not going to be after you died, there's like someone there that's like, you had the ability and you said no. Like, no, that's, again, gentleness. There's not going to be any grading system after this life is over in terms of, did you develop? Did you do your spiritual work? Like, you're good. Everyone's good. But yeah, I do teachings, so just something you guys can, if you want to, you can absolutely reach out and we can set something up that way. Any other questions? Awesome. Perfect, Mocha. Yeah, we'll work something out and we'll get something going there. Psychic ability, work on just sort of increasing things, understanding our sense of awareness, and also holding space, which is going to be important. So we'll work on holding space, contacting guides. We'll work on that too. That's something we work with. So if you're a serious student, you'll get serious results, right? Some people I work with, they're wanting to learn, but that's the whole thing I want you to go into this with too, is that you're there to learn. You're not there to necessarily master it in one go. You're there to learn, and you're there to kind of observe. There's a lot of people that want to just get out there and start doing readings for other people, but that's, to me, that seems a little foolhardy. We have to develop first, and then we can start doing that kind of stuff. So as long as there's realistic expectations, there can be realistic growing of the gift and the abilities for sure. So okay, any other questions? Tend to go off on the mediumship rants a little bit. And I'll actually have to look at the video I recorded. I haven't looked at it yet, and upload it on YouTube so you guys can look at that. But I'm trying to, what I want to do as a medium or a spiritual person is, I want to provide all the information that I can for free. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. And you're welcome. But I want to provide as much information as I can for free, book recommendations, things like that as I can for free. If you guys want to work one-on-one, then I charge, but I don't want to be that person that's putting information behind a paywall, because the mediums of the future, some of them won't have money. Some of them won't have access to certain truths, and I don't think it's right to have things hidden behind these huge paywalls. Some people charge thousands of dollars, and I'm like, that doesn't seem right to me, but whatever works, I guess. But yeah, that's something that I personally have been wanting to do, is just develop a course or a class and then go from there. But I'm still working on it. You're welcome, Denise. And thank you. I appreciate that too. I'm hoping that's how it comes across, because it's the most important thing is people having the knowledge, not people like, yeah, I need money to survive just like anyone else, but I don't need it at the cost of someone's spiritual development. You know what I mean? That's a little more important at the end of the day, that people can develop. And the information I've learned, I can share with you guys. And as I keep going and evolving my spiritual practice. Thank you so much, Mocha. Thank you. Then I'll keep giving you guys the information. But that's the whole thing. You don't want to, that's something that's very near and dear to me, is the energy and the sacred space of the mediumistic gift. And as I've told people before, as you're developing as a medium or a psychic, you're going to have profound moments. You will, but you're also going to have a lot of mundane moments. You're going to have a lot of day-to-day moments and a lot of realizations that way. And that's what I want you to get used to, is the day-to-day feeling of development, not just riding off of one ecstatic wave of development to the next, but focusing on the present moment and learning in the present moment. Because sometimes as mediums or as spiritual people, we tend to seek the highs. We tend to just go after the highs, and when we hit it, it's like pure bliss. But then after that, we're kind of down for a while. So I want us to focus and ground ourselves in the day-to-day, the minutia, the detail of the day, and then go from there and develop our gifts in that way. Hopefully that makes sense. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mocha. I appreciate that. Very kind of you. But that's just something that personally I feel moving forward. Let's see. And there's different ways to develop the gift too. Some of us will focus on developing it with healing, energy healing, trance mediumship healing, things like that. There's different levels that we develop mediumship at, and it keeps going. It keeps developing. I honestly think if from the day you were born till the day you died, all you did was mediumship, I do not think you would be fully developed or even close to it by the time you died. Even if you lived to be 100 years old, I don't think so. It's a gift that you're always a student of, but never a master of. But I feel like you can be a teacher. I feel like you can be a teacher once you've understood the ground rules a little bit more, right? So right here, I had another book. So there's the You Are Psychic. There's And the other thing is that we have a firm psychological foundation first before we start developing mediumship or psychic ability. If we don't have that, then when we start developing, our egos can get in the way and we can actually taint a reading. Okay, the way I would describe this is like this. All right, I hope you guys are ready for a story. Here it goes. So someone comes to me and they say, I had a dream, right? And they say, in this dream, there was red everywhere. And I just didn't know what to do. There was red and it just felt, it felt weird. It felt this or it felt that. If I'm someone who myself, I have an experience of the color red in dreams to mean horrible, horrible things, bloody nightmares, things like that, then I'm going to say that that color red is evil. I'm going to say that that color red is awful. It's evil. Why would you dream about that? What's going on with you? Why the color red? And that's my own biases that I'm projecting onto a person. That's why we need to develop psychologically first. We need to get rid of these biases that we have. We need to focus on getting rid of those biases and focus on developing actually spiritually. So everything's neutral. The color red is a color. The number 3 is a number. The number 5 is a number. All of these are things, but when we put a negative connotation on it, it makes it so that it's not a thing anymore. Now it's suddenly a fear, right? All of these things are tools for learning. We can be scared of them if we want, but we're not going to be passing that on to other people. That's what I would be teaching in my mediumship, is that we work through biases, we work through fears, and we make it so we don't project those onto other people. Does that make sense, guys? Hopefully that does, because that's something that the mind has a hard time with. If I've had an experience happen to me with something, and it was a deep experience, I'm generally going to project that onto other people. And that will be my experience. And that will be the other person's experience too, if that person is influenced easily. And as psychics, as empaths, as mediums, we generally can be very persuasive in how we come across. And if we're in a reading with a person, we do not want to give off biases. That can be very, very damaging. These people are trusting us with a very sacred part of themselves, their aura, their energy, their mental attitude, their soul, and we need to take that very, very seriously. We can also, and I know it sounds a bit back and forth, but we can also have fun with this as well in the way that we approach it as children learning something, is the way we approach it with an innocence. As long as we're doing that, we're good. But as soon as, like I said, the biases, not good. Biases prevent us from new ways of looking at things and learning. And that's the whole deal, is that we need to escape those biases. Okay, so any questions? Anything from anybody? If not, that's good too. But just take everything as neutral, because when we do mediumship, we will see colors, we will see numbers, we will see different things. And the important thing is when we see the images in our mind's eye, that we ask what it means, or that we feel what it means. We intuit what it means. We don't already have a go-to necessarily. If it feels different, then we ask, why does this feel different? What's going on? Again, that's a little more developed, but that's definitely something. Okay, so what else we got? Actually, this one's a good book too, and I've actually had a reading with this person, so I'll show you this book as well. So hold on. So this is the other book, Mediumship Mastery with Stephen A. Herman. He's actually pretty good. I had a reading with him before, and to me, he was pretty accurate. He was someone that I resonated with. So he's really good. a little pricey, but most mediums are. Once you've perfected the craft, it's pretty expensive to book a reading. But he came through, very professional, very kind person. I felt a sense of closeness, I guess would be the thing. So to me, that was really good. So Mediumship Mastery, the Ultimate Guide. Mechanics of Receiving Spirit Communications. Okay. And that's something I go over in my class. We talk about the mechanical side of spirit communication, and we talk about the mechanical. When I say that, it's logical, it's structured. That's why it's mechanical, not because it's a machine necessarily. Yeah, ultimately though, really good book. Something I would recommend for you guys too. So Mediumship Mastery, the Ultimate Guide, Stephen A. Herman. Okay, so I can actually. Let's see, Mediumship Mastery. Spell his name right. And then Deborah Katz, You Are Psychic. Okay, so there are those two. You guys can see that in the chat, and you guys can look at that or add it to a wish list or whatever it is you guys want to do. Those books will help you. Yes, okay. So you've heard of him too, so that's good. And like I said, actually doing the reading with him, amazing. I thought it was really good. I need to listen to it again. But it was about 6 months ago I had a reading, and I thought it was really spot on back then. So if I listen to it again, maybe there will be more insights. I definitely need to do that. But yeah. Okay. Thank you, Denise. I appreciate that. And yes, I am. I would recommend, if you guys can, book a reading with him if you want. But again, it's a little pricey. But he was really kind, honestly, and I didn't have any resignation towards him. He was really cool with it. So, do you guys have any more questions? If not, I think I'll say toodles, and I'll see you on here tomorrow. But if you do have a question, please feel free. Put the cards in upside down. You don't want to do that. There we go. Okay, you guys, I think I will say toodaloo for today then. And thank you guys so much for stopping by. Yes, I will post the class. And Mocha, thank you again for the donation. I really, really appreciate that. That's very kind of you. And hopefully I can look forward to working with you whenever you're ready. Okay, we don't have to hurry or rush this, but whenever you're ready, we can definitely look forward to working together. Same with you, Denise. We can look forward to working together. And yeah. You're very, very welcome, guys. Again, I will see you at 4:35 Mountain Standard Time tomorrow. And take care, you guys. Stay safe. And yeah. Toodaloo, everybody.